Hello and welcome back once again to Club Prairie Fire, the home of tequila, tabasco, and the Duckworth-Lewis system. We are just 6 weeks away from the World Cup of cricket, and the world is indeed getting very excited for the game that we love. There's so much to chat about in the upcoming podcast, and it seems like a very good time right at the start to bring in these very important people. First of all, Adam Gilchrist, Perth.
Hello.
Michael Vaughan, Manchester, and producer Ollie in London. Ollie, are you in London?
I am touchdown, 3 hours ago. London town.
Ollie, did you fly back with the Lionesses?
No, and if I did, I didn't see them because they were at the front of the plane. But no, I don't think so. But a couple of FIFA officials.
No one. Yeah, well, hopefully not the Spanish football president, but that no supporters saw them. They took the tradesman's exit outside. They had a huge throng of supporters who they'd help carry them through the tournament. They get silver. It's not really in the spirit of things, Vaughany, is it? To get off the plane and not go out there and see the people who lift you to these lofty heights. Bullshit.
I think, obviously it's a long flight. Maybe just in their defence, just maybe one or two of them had done a David Boone.
Yeah, right.
Just maybe.
Yeah,
that's to their defence. By the way, just on the Spanish, what was it? The president of the Spanish football?
Yeah, I've got his name here. Luis Rubiales kissed Jenny Hermosa on the lips, and he's defended it, guys, as saying it was a spontaneous moment of elation, which we've all had those. We're not proud of them, but we've all had
come
those.
On. That is up there with the worst things I've seen on a podium.
Now, I wanted to ask you, because Gilly, famously when you guys won the Border Gavaskar Trophy, I remember AB had a spontaneous moment of elation and just started kissing all you blokes. I wanted to ask you, was there a moment in your many trophies that you won, Gilly, where there was something incredibly awkward or something went wrong on stage?
I think the one that jumps to mind, 2006, I think we won that. I think it's the now defunct ICC Champions Trophy. I don't think that's still around, is it, guys? But it was a 50-over format, a bit of a World Cup, if you like. But we won that in India, and Damien Martin got up on the stage, and I think his name was Shawad Power, was the ICC president, and might have even been the BCCI president. He might have been ICC president too, but got up and presented the trophy and didn't want to move. He just stood there, and Marto was trying to get the money shot photo, get in there for the memorabilia, and basically just went full and pushed him off. So he staggered over to the side. So that was nearly World War III with India. But there was another footballing one in Australia. Vaughany, you mightn't have seen this, but Frank Lowy.
Yeah.
He fell off the stage, literally tumbled off the front of the stage at the A-League presentation. So a rugged old spot on a football presentation.
Well, and he was like 85, wasn't he, Gilly? And
yeah,
and the podium was raised very high that day, and he right at the moment when they're meant to be raising the trophy and celebrating, this 85-year-old man fell backwards.
And the only thing that would have been better was because the trophy, Vaughany, is shaped basically like a toilet seat. It's such a wonderful trophy, whoever designed that. But the only thing better would have if you came up with the toilet seat around the neck, but it didn't quite end that way.
Vaughany, at the A-League Grand Final, fans wear toilet seats to the Grand Final. Like actual there's thousands of them in the crowd because they want their team to win the coveted toilet seat.
That pretty much sums up that league, doesn't it? Just on presentations, the best. I remember Chelsea winning the Champions League. John Terry was injured for the final.
Full kit wanker.
No, he went up to pick the trophy in a full kit. He'd not even played.
Oh wow!
That's like the newspaper ran competition. Be the 12th man for the day.
Oh yeah, he was up there on the podium with his full kit on and shin pads.
Oh wow!
He did not. He didn't have the Adidas Predators on, did he?
Oh, he had the full range on. Have a look.
Oh, that's amazing. Ollie, you got one?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the toilet seat in the A-League. Vaughany, they could be good for you to get in touch just for the goat shitting trophy, because it's been a while since we've had an update there.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I've not seen many goats recently. I'll be totally honest, I've completely forgot about that trophy. So yeah, it's a good time to get thinking about. Yeah. If you could sort something out, Ollie, with the A-League and their shit league, and about producing some goat shit for our trophy, that'd be perfect.
Now, can I ask you, Vaughany, is it true that Piers Morgan tweeted before the match that that match between the Lionesses and Spain actually also counted as the decider in the Anglo-Spanish War of 1585?
Yeah.
And so now Spain, they get the victory in that war. And is that true? Or?
Well, yeah, I think so. What really disappointed me about the final is that we had nothing to kind of grab hold of. There was no, there was no controversy or red cards or there was nothing. Ollie, there was nothing we could kind of say that we could have won because of.
No, but the one thing that stood out was that they brought the Queen of Spain, but obviously England have the King of Spain in Ashley Giles. You know, that's a big part of it.
He should have been there.
Yes. Well, none of our official kind of high-powering people, the PM or the King, or that, so the President of the FA decided not to travel down on that. I felt like giving Prince William a call and saying, do you realise Sydney's not a bad spot? Get down Coogee. Getting little Jacks on the corner, Prince William. You'd have a great afternoon.
I tell you what, his brother enjoyed it in 2003 Rugby World Cup. He was front and centre of the social circuit at that point.
Yeah.
And there are rumours that Bairstow wasn't there in the dressing room to kiss the forehead.
There you go. There you go. Johnny's too busy playing in the 100.
Yeah, is that what it is? Can I ask you, though, as an Australian watching that game and watching... Is it Mary Earps when she saved the penalty?
Yes.
Well, and she told the number 10 to fuck off. And then
she did.
She stood there with
twice.
her tongue. Twice. And then stood there with her tongue out. Did she think that you guys were winning 1-0, or did nobody tell her that England was losing?
No, I didn't quite get that celebration. It was, I think there might have been 3 fuck-offs, actually. I always.
Yep, you go.
What's fuck off in Spanish? Because you'd rather say it in Spanish. Because I'm not too sure what the Spaniard striker's English is like. Because she might not have been able to understand.
Yeah.
So I always think if you're playing against an opponent and you're going to swear at them, you've got to swear at them in their language.
Yep.
Yeah. Vete a la mierda.
What is it, Ollie?
Vete a la mierda.
Vete a la mierda.
Yeah. And there was a great shot of Hermosa lying on the pitch. She'd just been tackled and just flicking the middle finger up as she's lying prone on the ground as an Englishwoman running away. So it was a feisty game of swearing.
Oh, love it.
Feisty.
Love it.
But that's a better way, isn't it? Don't you think that's a better way? If you're going to swear at an opponent who speaks a different language, you're better off doing it with sign language, aren't you? With a middle finger or two. Because at least they can understand that. That is the language that you can understand. Yeah, you know, there's no point in speaking in your language and going, no idea what you're on about. So maybe that's what we should bring that into the world of sport. Actually, that you should be able to. The middle finger is it's a global piece of language that we all understand. And
it's
the middle finger.
I think it's a fair point. And I think I've often wondered whether that might be a more appropriate way for umpire when he raises his or her finger.
Oh,
the middle digit.
Give them out.
It can be, what was it in Spanish? El espastelera. I think it translates to on your bike, son.
All right, well, look, this podcast, Ollie, we're doing really well still on the charts, are we? Are we still number 1?
We've actually, and we've got 3 new countries last week as well.
Well, if Spain was one of them, I think we just lost them with our efforts just then. But
no, but I think, Gilly, it's important. The MCC World Cricket Committee. Generally, you go on that World Cricket Committee and you talk about changes in the game, and then you kind of present it to the ICC, and the ICC generally always go no.
Yeah.
So you travel around the world as this committee, and very little gets done. But I do think because when you get out, you're pissed off, and you are on your bike.
Yeah,
maybe we should ask. There's a guy called Fraser Stewart who's involved at the MCC. We say, well, we think umpires should actually give the middle finger. Why are they giving the index finger?
Yeah,
we need to change it to the middle finger.
You guys are very influential men in the world of cricket, and if you start this campaign, I mean, Gilly, you could both start it on Fox over the summer. Just,
I'm happy to go with it because
I think the optics of that are great.
Yeah. Does it work? Does it work?
I think
does it work? Would you do both and point the ball out the ground, like you're saying? Giving the bird to the ball as it goes for 6.
Oh, that's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. But I think the index finger pointed for a C. I think that works. But I think actually when you're giving someone out, the middle finger, fuck off, you're out.
Imagine the great Billy Bowden dropping a bird. The theatrics around him dropping the bird on your head.
It'd be bent, yeah.
Look like
the
Captain Hook.
Finger.
But, it should be trialled in junior cricket to see how it goes first. Maybe then it filters up the ranks.
No, let's be honest. This will be one of the launches of the Mexican Premier League when it comes.
Love it.
This will be part of the Mexican Premier. This is what it's going to be different. This is going to be real. It's going to be what cricket's about. If you get out and you've got umpire giving you out, you fuck off. You've got the middle finger. That's what it's going to be about in Mexico.
Hey, just quickly, you mentioned Fox Cricket there. I think Prof or Ollie. I wondered, Vaughany, I'm interested in your thoughts on the news that we've continued the innovation. We started like we did last year, sign up David Warner before he's even retired to come into the commentary box eventually. Announcement of Usman Khawaja, who's going to join the Fox commentary box eventually. I'd be interested in your thoughts on that. It just made me think, reminded me, the only other sporting time where I remember, gents, a pre-retirement contract for commentary was the great Tom Brady. When he signed a few years ago. Remember he signed with, I think, Fox Sports in the US for $380 million for a 10-year contract. And that was before he pulled the pin on his career. And it just made me chuckle a little bit. I remember around that time, the late, great Andrew Roy Simons, took the liberty when he did a screenshot of Tom Brady's new deal and sent it to our head of Fox Sports, Steve Crawley, and he just messaged him and said, just read my contract. I think it's time to try and squeeze the lemon a bit more.
He'll be good in the box.
He'll be brilliant.
Yeah. He doesn't hold back his opinions, and he's done enough in the game that he can say what he wants, right?
Yep. No, he's considered, thoughtful. Yeah, he's good insight.
Yeah, it's good signings, 2 good signings, Warner and Khawaja, the opening partnership. It's always a bit worrying for those that are working, that who's going to miss out. Who's been
cut?
Who's on the way out? I think I'm getting pushed down the batting lineup at the Fox too. I think I might have to sneak in at number 6, 6 or 7. It's a strong batting lineup. Tom Brady, by the way, he's part owner of Birmingham City now.
Is he?
Yeah, right. They're all doing it now, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Americans are flying over to the UK. They feel they're going to make a load of money in football over here. He was in the pubs in Birmingham. I saw that pre-match. I don't know who they were playing first game of the season, but yeah, T Brady he's got his hand into the Birmingham pie.
Where are the Brummies? Are they?
They're shit.
Where are they? What?
That 380 million that he signed with Fox, if he puts it all back in, they're still going to be shit.
Yeah, right. Now he's a single man, isn't he? Old T Brady, couldn't he? How would he go in the pubs in Birmingham? What are they like?
I mean,
Vaughany?
He wasn't. He was married to Giselle. Is that right? Giselle.
Yeah, and then they split, and he's I think he's on Tinder now. I think he's out there. I think he's living it up.
Raya, I think Raya. He'll be on the posh one. Raya,
Yeah,
Raya. Yeah, I think it's a good that Raya. I've been around a few people that are on that Raya side. That is a good site. Let me tell you.
There's a possible sponsor for the podcast.
That is a good site.
Don't want to brag. There it is, guys. There's Raya right there, live. There it is. Literally the Raya app.
Are you on there, Ollie?
I'm on there. I've used you guys, obviously, to get me on. So thanks so much. I've been on.
But do they know that these guys aren't showing up when you show up for the day? Do they go, where's Gilly in the morning?
Ollie, can we have a bit of fun on Raya now as we're on the pod? Are you on there?
Yeah.
What does your profile say?
Profile. Let's start out with the most important thing. My height, 6'1". Everyone wants to know height. You may recognise me from some of my earlier work: Hinge 2021, Bumble 2018, and Tinder 2014. And another English bloke in Sydney, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Can we have a look at the profile pic?
This was taken actually at BJ's Oceanside in Portugal, drinking a cocktail.
Hey.
Right, and how are you going? Are you getting any swipes or?
I think it's a data outage because it's been a while. So I think it's down the app down. Yeah, it's broken.
Hey, your profile is perfect, and what you've written is perfect. You just need to. There's just that last line you need to remove. If you just say that you're living in Sydney, you don't need to say where you're from or what. Just all you need to say, because that's why there's been an outage, mate.
I thought the accent would help, but it's hindered. It's hindered.
I think we'll keep abreast of that, Ollie. See how you're getting on, Ria. Yeah.
Thanks.
Get an update.
It's going to be a short weekly segment, I'll tell you that.
Why don't you do a shout out now and just say what you're looking for?
That's a good shout.
Yeah. I might just do a shout out to the first person that comes up live. So
Perfect.
we can. Okay.
Perfect. You're looking for a person. That's perfect.
Perfect. Great.
That's good. That's really good. Now, hey, we should probably. This is meant to be a sports podcast. Now, we could kind of leave the soccer. The only thing I wanted to bring up and just get your opinion on was the Matildas went down 2-0 to Sweden gallantly. This idea, and I personally think it's a good thing, that they're going to build a statue outside Suncorp for the Matildas for what they did in this World Cup. Now, I wanted to get Vaughany and Ollie's take
for losing. For losing.
They came fourth, but I think no, that's not losing. I think it's more to do with the way that they captured the nation, right, Gilly?
It sounds like that. That's the concept. Yeah.
What every single there's what the whole squad in one statue? That's going to be a massive one.
Yeah. Also, training staff, the masseuse, the bus driver. Yeah, it's 26 people in total. They're gonna.
Right, that's a big statue. That might take a while to build.
Yeah.
In actual fact, by the time they've built it, it'll be the next World Cup, and they could have won it by then. So they'll have to do another one.
Will the Lionesses get anything back in the UK to commemorate how well they went?
They'll get whatever they want.
That's good.
Whatever they wish. Yeah, they're legends over here. I mean, to be honest, in my eyes, the Euros are a bigger competition, which we're the holders of. So we hold the Euro Cup. So the World Cup's just an invitation for other countries to take part to grow the game. But the big trophy England still have. So of course the legends do what they want.
Very good, very good. Deservedly so. Now, should we chat some cricket, boys? And I guess the most interesting news off the top was there was a bit of a, is it described as a mix-up? But the Heath Streak. How would you describe this? So was announced in reputable news spots as having passed away, but turns out Heath hasn't. We've seen this before with the likes of Jeff Goldblum. There was another example that you guys had. I mean, do you know what's happened here? Gilly, do you know who's announced this and why?
Look, I don't know. I mean, clearly the outcome's good in the fact
Absolutely.
that Heath's still with us, thankfully. But yeah, I certainly became victim of. Well, I did read, I reckon, 4 or 5 what I think are reasonably reputable news outlets online. You know, they move quickly, don't they? Try to get the story out there, get the headline. But I went through it and looked on social media, saw a whole mountain of mates of ours that we played with and against. You know, lovely tributes. So I threw one out there on Twitter, and took about 30 seconds before I got a message from a great mate, former opening partner in IPL days, Herschel Gibbs. And it simply said, "Streaky's not dead, mate."
Oh, no.
That's a pretty sickening feeling when you're throwing it out there on Twitter. Probably only matched where once in commentary of an international game of cricket, I did know that a young touring player's father had passed away just before the tour. Actually, after they'd left on the tour, and this young player decided to stay on the tour out of pay respect to his dad. That's what Dad would have wanted. And I did ask our statistician who that player was when a new player came on the bowl, and he said, "Yeah, it's this kid." So I said his name, and I said, "Condolences to him and his family. His father passed away." Turns out it wasn't that particular young bowler whose father had passed away.
No.
So, I mean,
can we laugh?
So there's some awkward situations around this, but a sickly feeling. So quickly deleted the tweet and put up that good news is that Streaky's still with us. So we wish him well for his health battles. But geez, it sent the cricket world into chaos, didn't it? There was all sorts of uncertainty.
Yeah, I mean, Gilly, the good thing, I mean, Streaky's still alive, which is great, but I guess he's now got the outpouring of how great a person he is, because these legends of the game were on social media saying, "Oh, sorry to see you go, Streaky. Condolences to your family." And he's now read all those now, so he knows that in the game of cricket, he's greatly loved.
Well, it begs the
I saw
question,
Anil Kumble. He was on there. I saw Anil Kumble mentioned. Obviously, Heath. I don't know any other legendary names, Gilly, apart from yourself.
Oh no! Well, I saw a beautiful tribute from Scotty Styris, who and the picture that he had, Vaughany, which you'd be most interested in, was he put a picture of himself alongside Streaky, and part of the tribute was about being a wonderful opponent and friend, and had the pleasure of playing alongside you, and that was in the ill-fated Master Champions League of. They were in the team that you were actually not even a part of. You had to sit on the byline and watch, as we touched on in last week's podcast. But it begs the question: would it be fun or a bit confronting to be aware of what was said at your funeral? It'd be see who turns up, who says what.
There is that pro, isn't there?
Yeah, I was saying before we got on that there are now examples of when people know they're not long until they pass, where they will have live funerals. So where you get to sit in your own funeral and hear people talk about you, which I don't know. Is it even more awkward when you're sitting in the room, because they have to say nice things about you, right? Even you see a bloke get up and you think to yourself, "Oh, this bloke's an asshole. What's he going to say?" But it's going to be lovely because it's your funeral, right?
Yeah.
Well, this has been in the news recently, because this came about last month. A very famous TikToker faked his own death. He's a Belgium guy, David Barteen, 45, to his own kids. They did the funeral, wife, everything, the whole thing, and then he lands in a helicopter and comes out and is part of a TikTok prank.
What's wrong with people?
And you see the
kids.
Yeah, and wife.
Ollie, out of interest, how many TikTok likes did that get? And was it worth it?
Hundreds of thousands, and they got, and I think he's got a new coffin sponsor. So I think all good overall. Yeah.
That is
something to think about, boys. Something to think about.
Yeah. Each to their own, I guess. But
that's
go
right.
well, Streaky. You're in our thoughts, mate.
Now, last week, boys, we chatted about the English ODI squad that had dropped for the upcoming World Cup. As I said, 6 weeks at the top of the show. Between then and now, we've had the Aussie ODI squad drop for their upcoming series. They've got 3 T20s and 5 ODIs starting next week, I think, or the week after in South Africa. Now, Gilly, Mitch Marsh has been named the captain of that ODI side. Pat Cummins isn't going. You've also got Spencer Johnson, who Mitch is talking up. Tanvir Sangha, he's been named in the squad. Do you like what you see here, mate? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's not quite what the World Cup squad, the finished 15, will be when they head over to India, but for a whole number of niggly reasons that a few of the boys have got to get patched up. But Spencer Johnson, I like this. Now, for those that don't know anything about Spencer or haven't seen him, more importantly, he could easily have taken the role of Ken in the Barbie movie. This fella, he's a rooster. He's a big 6'4". He's got the mop of blonde hair. He's got the rig, and he's one of the most beautiful young men you could talk to. We've interviewed him a few times in Big Bash, and bowls some proper wheels when he gets it going. So he's not a youngster. He's sort of 27, so it's not like he's a fresh out of nowhere 19 or 20-year-old, but he's relatively new on the scene. I reckon it's really exciting. So he's punched a few decent results out in the 100, I believe, Vaughany.
Yeah, he got 3 for 1 off 20 in one game.
Yeah,
Bowled Joe, I think he bowled Joe Root a couple of nights ago. Yeah, he looks quality. Hate to say it, but the Australians, if they look after him and get a little bit of experience into him quickly, he's going to be a player, definitely.
Well, no Mitchell Starc due to groin soreness, and no Steve Smith due to a tendon injury in his left wrist. Apparently both injuries did take place on the field before you guys start thinking otherwise. Do you think they'll be ready? Well, Vaughany, apparently he injured it in the second test at Lords, played on because he's, lion-hearted and has just been trying to hide it ever since. Will he be ready, Gilly? It's only 6 weeks. Will these blokes be playing? Yeah,
I was caught up with Smithy on, what was it, Monday, I think. Saw a whole lot of the Aussie boys at a media day. I think he was about to jet off to New York. So there's good rehab facilities in New York for cricketers. And he will be right to go. So too will Starc, so too will Cummins. So it'll be good.
All right, very good. Now, Vaughany, obviously the ODI squad that we mentioned last week, Ben Stokes has put his hand up again. As I said last week, surprise of the century. Tim Payne, former Australian cricketer, has come out and he's had a bit of a crack at old Stokesy about coming out of retirement. Speaking on SEN Tasmania, he said the decision was interesting. He said it was a bit of me there, isn't it? He said it was, I'll pick and I'll choose where I want to play and when I want to play, and I'll play in the big tournaments. No love lost there, Vaughany. What do you make of old Timmy Payne's comments?
Well, he's obviously had a strong opinion. I reckon of all the players that I've seen in the modern era, and of all the England players that I've seen over the last 10 years, the most selfless is Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes is purely about team. He doesn't give a flying hoot about individuals or himself. It's purely about what the team need and require. And you earn the right. You earn the right to step back, and then Josh Butler pesters you as the captain, said, "Come on." Ben had done it to Moeen Ali previously in the Ashes squad to get Moeen back in. Ultimately, a World Cup is about picking what you believe is the best team to go on, and England are obviously trying to retain it. I'll say that, but England haven't picked their best team because they haven't picked Harry Brooks. So England are that good at white ball cricket, they can't even be asked to pick the best player at the minute. That's how good they are. So it did make me chuckle. I mean, Tim's absolutely in his right to have his opinion. I'm not too sure he's got it right on Ben Stokes, but it did amuse me that he obviously got a bit of a backlash, particularly from this side of the pond, from the likes of the Barmy Army. I saw that they kind of climbed into Tim Payne and a few others. I said he was ridiculous to suggest that Ben Stokes was selfish. But I did notice how he went back on SAN to talk about it once again. and they copied me in. They copied me in on social media. I think they wanted me to go again and have another comment. I'm not too sure how SEN in Tasmania is doing in terms of listeners, but they were clearly trying to trigger a response on social media. And I guess the response has come on this podcast, so that's good. We're talking about SEN. Is it SEN Tasmania? Is that it?
SEN.
SEN Tasmania. Yeah. So he's it's a good response to his first response, which is to clarify what he said the first time, which he's not backtracked on, so which is good.
So he's doubled down and said yes, he's super
selfish.
Selfish. Yeah.
He just said Ben Stokes is a selfish twat. That's what he said.
There you go. I mean, a lot of us think it. So good on you, Painey. That's a good thing.
It's verbal, really. Yeah.
Yeah. They're good on him. Very good on him. Now,
what's Harry Brook think of it?
Yeah.
That's the spot. It's keeping him out.
Mate, seriously, how I don't know if you saw last night in the 100, he got 100 off 42 balls. This kid, and he then takes a catch on the boundary. Yeah. He doesn't just flick it over the rope once. He does it twice because he's that good. He's purely about entertainment. He will be. I'll guarantee he'll be playing for England in the World Cup. That first game, England will work a way of getting rid of the likes of a Milan or a Roy or a Willie or a Limits. One of the four names that I mentioned, I reckon, won't be at the World Cup, and Harry Brook will definitely be playing.
Hey, Vaughany, what's your take on it? No, I probably should have researched this a bit better. Because I remember back in our day, ICC guidelines or regulations, countries had to name a squad of 30, like 2 months before the tournament, and then they trim it to 20 a month before, and you couldn't change it. It was like ridiculously set in stone and they used to say it was for promotional purposes and marketability and all this rubbish. Is that the case at the moment? Like, are these squads that we're seeing, not for the tours that the teams are going on, obviously with injuries and so on, but that provisional squad, is that set in stone or can changes be made?
No, you can change it, and I think it's till Ollie. Can you Google this? September time, I think it is.
I'll do some Google.
Just a cut-off time where you got. Yeah,
it's actually. I don't know why they've had to announce that it's kind of their provisional World Cup squad. I'm sure that they've got until September of some date that they have to officially announce what their 15-man World Cup squad is.
28th of September.
So I have no idea why they've announced or had to announce something so kind of soon. But Harry Brook will be in it. I'll pretty much guarantee that.
So he should.
Very good. Very good. Now, hey, Ollie, you've kept a close eye on this Masters tournament. We've already chatted about it tonight. Jacques Kallis is making some runs. Is that right?
Oh,
yeah. The Masters has been kicking off. Kallis, loads of runs. 64 of 31 was his opening effort. Some of the great names: the New Jersey Tritons, the California Knights with a K, the Morrisville Unity. But also on socials at Club Prairie Fire, we've had a bit of interest actually on this. We put out that obviously Gilly got the call. No one was surprised at all. First call was Gilly. Vaughany didn't get one, and he said, he's open, available. And good news, we've had someone reach out for you. It's Erin Holland, who's does a bit of hosting, and she has let she said, Vaughany, don't worry, I'll make sure to let the organisers know you and your hammy are available next season. So it looks like you might get a start.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right, and I tell you what I'll do, just for shits and giggles, I'll go and play for us, and I'll have Club Prairie Fire on the back of my bat.
Yeah,
perfect.
That
is the exposure that's going to get is jack shit, but it's a great idea. It's a great idea.
I didn't think you were going to say yes, because one other person reached out who thought you weren't going to say yes. Anil Sahil Gorakhpur, who genuinely reached out and said, Michael Vaughan, sir, can you please come coach our national cricket team? And he runs Italy's national side. So
that's a good spot to coach. Down on the ML. I think that's where they train.
Ollie, is he on Twitter? Is he or Instagram?
He's replied on Twitter, and he runs the Federazione Cricket and the broadcast, and they've asked you to come be their coach. And he's called you sir.
I think... I think I'm available for that as well. When do they play?
In the summer.
Do they?
June. Let's go June.
That is a good gig,
Yeah.
Vaughany.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye on that. I've got a week or two where I could go over to Italy and just give them a bit of coaching, give them a bit of tequila, just get them going.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Now, in the event that doesn't work out, I think I've found another tournament, Vaughany, for you. Now, it's not yet. You got to wait. You got to wait a while, but think about this. Cricket's Silver Ashes confirms you're never too old for an international debut. Have you heard about the Silver Ashes?
Over 60s.
Over 70s. So England are dominating the over 70s series against Australia. They're playing bloody baseball in it.
Yeah, they will be.
Yeah, it's all levels. Juniors all the way through to the octogenarians, or what are they, septuagenarians. They won the first game at Castle Park in Colchester by 54 runs. Then they won the second one. There's blokes getting 114 not out off 70 balls. It's
have you got the list of names there? Is there a Swan involved in that?
As in Graham Swan?
No, Graham Swan's father is a legend in that either over 60s or over 70s. I'm not too sure what category he falls into, but he's a legend in it.
The only name I've got is John Evans, who has just been
good
Up.
player.
71, 57. Just so that's something to think about. You boys in, however many years, wouldn't it be good to get the old Aussie 11 back against basically the 05 Edgbaston, two teams battling it out when you're over 70? I mean, it's a thought.
I'm not so sure. I think England are the over 50s World Cup winners as well.
Yep.
All right, check it, Ollie.
Well,
this is when Vaughany says, check it, Ollie.
Yeah.
If they didn't win it, they would have claimed it. So give it.
Just check it, Ollie. I think they did, Ollie.
Okay, well, I was just deep in Italy of won their last 3 games, but I have got bad news. This same guy reached out to Shane Watson to be the head coach 3 weeks before, so he's obviously trying a few different.
He's doing the rounds, they call it.
Genuinely true.
All right, Gilly, be honest. When did he reach out to you? Has it already happened?
Oh, funnily enough, I just got a message. That's amazing. No, I had a lovely week in Italy this year. I would prefer to spend my time in Italy without cricket on my mind. But if you do get the gig, Vaughany, and you need a wicket-keeping coach for a little while,
I'm on Twitter looking for this fella now. What's he called?
He's good. Anil Sanil Gurukpa, who's the guy. And you are right, England are the over 50 world champions. And a guy used to coach me is in the side, Charlie Knightley from Felsted School, who I had some coaching from. Was in there, and they won it earlier this year in South Africa.
Now, Ollie, you now have a whole stack of other results that you want to run through just to make sure that we are targeting every market where people are listening. Yeah?
Yeah, that's right. There have been some going on. You may have seen the UAE got a win over New Zealand at home, which was a big result. They ended up losing the series 2-1. And also India struggled over Ireland. They only won by 2 runs. Duckworth Lewis may have had a bit of a thing to do with that, but that hasn't been what's caught my attention. I'm sure you're all over it. It's the East Africa Cup, which everyone's talking about at the moment. T20 competition, tri-series between Uganda, Rwanda and Tanzania. They play each other 6 times in just 10 days, so they really pack in the games.
Wow.
Because Kenya have dropped out. They've played 4 so far. Uganda won 3, Tanzania 2, Rwanda bottom. But some stars here. Uganda's Kenneth Waswaya, 10 wickets in his first 3 games, including a hat-trick. We'll all remember that from the opening game. And the top run scorer, Simon Sezezi, who was top run scorer last year as well.
Good player.
And he's the only one with a Wikipedia page, so he's clearly one to look out for going forward.
What are his strengths, Vaughany? Where's he score mostly?
He just likes to get his left leg out the way, and he hits it hard through the offside.
Yep.
Very, very good player.
Yep.
It is.
Modern
It's a
time.
great comp. And they are top without, and I think we all know the legend Franco Nusambuga, who was the player of the tournament last year, and he's just retired, 42 years old. He was when he retired, and he helped them to the World Cricket League Championship in 2007 when they beat Argentina. So it's really on the rise, and looking forward to seeing who takes out that title.
Very good.
Yes. Just on social media here, guys, I've just noted, back to the Heath Streak situation, the paper I work for, The Telegraph in the UK, Will McPherson, who's a very good cricket journalist, he's done an article and he's put as one of his quotes, "The third umpire has called him back. He's alive."
Wow.
Ex-teammate mistakenly announces death of former Zimbabwe captain. So I don't know who the ex-teammate is, but the good thing is Heath is alive, but he's creating news around the world because they're all writing about it, which is great. And he'll be able to read exactly what everyone thinks of him.
Just
And
amazing.
who doesn't write anything? That's also important. Who isn't speaking up?
Oh, you'd be
true.
jotting that down, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Be like, why haven't you said anything, mate?
Yeah.
Yes, you would. You would indeed. Now, we're going well here, guys. We're tracking. We're coming to the close. Let's put it that way. Now, because Ollie did so well with the quiz last week, and a lot of people said that he is quite the quiz master. From now on, I'm going to hand over to Ollie for the quiz. He's going to make it his own. Is everybody okay with that? Just trying to keep him interested, keep him involved. We're obviously not paying him, so
we hadn't addressed it as a group, but it was high quality last week, Prof. So if you're happy just to sit on the,
I'm
on the
feeling
line
pressure.
there.
well, I was thinking, I might just head off at this point. So good to see you all. No, I'm kidding. All right, hey Ollie, what is the subject of tonight's quiz?
Well, it's old athletes, because we've spoken obviously there about Franco Nusambuga and the Silver Ashes as well. So this is all around the oldest athlete who has ever competed. And we've got a few questions on them. And then we have a tiebreak as well if needed. So I don't need to remind you, but it is, of course, Stanislaw Kowalski. He is the record for the oldest professional athlete in the world. In 2015, he was 105 when he competed in the Polish Veterans Championship. Old Stanislaw, and he did a few events. So and I looked up a bit on, and he retired last year. He only retired because he actually passed away. So he never actually retired, what the Wikipedia page says. But there you go, he passed away afterwards. But he is a legend in Poland. So the first question is, and this is to you, Gilly, he was 105 when he competed in the Polish Veterans Championships in 2015 in Turon. How old was the second oldest competitor in that? How much was he older? And I'll give you a leeway of 1 year for the point.
Jeez, that's tough.
I don't get multiple choice or something.
He's 105. You've got to be over 90. Right. How old?
Oh, you've
was
got
the
it.
right.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that. Right. Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
I'll go I'm going to go 98.
It was actually his neighbour who was 104, just a bit younger actually. And the following year they had to make a category for only him alone, because you had to be over 105 was the cutoff. So he won every event the following year, but it's not professional. So there you go.
He was competing on his own, so he was running. Yeah. There was nobody else in the race.
No,
so he just had to get to the end,
which was a bit of a task. And that one of the events was the 100 meters. Vaughany, within 3 seconds, how fast did he run the 100 meters?
Oh, my 105.
Yeah,
I'm thinking. Oh God, 34 seconds.
Oh my! Have you got the rundown?
Have you?
34.5 seconds.
Thank you.
Actually, extraordinary.
Ollie, mate, if you're going to send Vaughany the answers, he can't be bang on. You've got to make it less obvious.
That is an incredible guess.
That is the best guess.
Solid. Very good.
Well,
very
not
good.
only that, it's a very, very fine pace for a 105-year-old.
Isn't it just? Okay, Gilly, the second event, once he recovered from the run, he threw a shot put. How far in meters did he throw that shot put? Again, I'll give you within one.
Oh, what's the put? I'm going to go 6.4 meters.
What?
4.2 meters. Sorry.
I wasn't completely out of the ballpark.
You're in the right area. You're in the right area.
How much did the shot put weigh?
Regulation shot put. Stanislaw was great, Nick. Yeah. And well, this is just to really rub the winnings. The last one, how far he finished off, obviously, it's a triple event, as you guys know and will remember. You end with discus. So in meters, Vaughany, how far to the lob the get the motion?
Thought you were going to tell us he did the pole vault last, but
discus. So if he's doing the shot put 4.2, it's going to be I reckon 14 meters.
Oh wow! No. 7.5 meters. 7.5 meters. It was that he did that, and he took her gold once again in that. So fantastic. In the 100. That was in the under 105s, and then he did it again. So pretty impressive. Double down, and that is the so 1-0 Vaughany on Stanislaw Kowalski.
Very good.
Did I win the last one as well?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think you did. Actually, I tried to.
I think Gilly won the first two. I think Gilly definitely won the first. We'll look it back. We'll have a look.
Yeah, we'll go back. Check the third.
Yeah. All right. Hey, very good, Ollie. Nice work. Now, Ollie, all that's left to do, unless anybody wants to add anything else before we.
No, I think it's just time for a cheers, and we've all got slightly different drinks. I've noticed. Prof, you've been
mention our socials too, Ollie,
and our socials, of course, at Club Prairie Fire, where Erin has sent her message in, as has the Italian coach for Vaughany. So at Club Prairie Fire, you can send in you joining the club. I didn't know we were allowed to socially beverage here, but Prof, you've been having some sips of something else I've noticed.
It's a traveller beer, and wonderful. And I recommend it. It's an Australian beer, Vaughany. I don't think it's in the UK yet. It might be. If you can go and have a look, give it a go.
Well, you get your mates at Traveller to get some Traveller to travel to us
to Manchester. All right, very good. Yeah, no, it's nice. I'm enjoying it. But I am going to have the Prairie Fire now. Have you got another tequila bottle, Gilly? You're not onto a third one, are you?
I'm back to one that we've tried and tested already, just a little bit of Patron. But I've sampled a few in between podcasts. I was actually in a tequila bar the other night in Sydney, and a guy came up and I bumped into him. I said, mate, sorry about that. I said, I got chatting. So what do you do? And he told me, and then he goes, hey, look, you don't need to be humble around me, Ricky. Everyone knows who you are, and I know who you are. And I said, sorry, what was that? He goes, oh, come on, no time for humility. Ricky Ponting can't go out in Sydney without everyone knowing who. I thought he was taking the piss, but he was genuine. So I got him to have a few Prairie Fires, and he finally came around.
Is that somebody you don't mind being mistaken for, or is that someone you go, come on, mate? Oh, seriously.
It's the first time I've been confused as Ricky Ponting, put it that way. I get Glenn McGrath a bit. I get
Glenn McGrath.
Yeah. I get Jason Gillespie a bit because of the Gil part of the name, I suppose. But yeah, I've never been compared to a 5'1" sort of Tasmanian that got the hairiest arms in the history of the world. But anyway, we can toast to that.
Vaughany, just before we taste, have you ever been mistaken for anybody?
I get Atherton all the time. Mike. Mike, I get a bit of KP every now and again. I say no thanks.
Jeez.
Not just the stature. Yeah, we all Strauss because England captaincy. They all just kind of think, it's all like. Yeah, well, they just have no clue yet. By the way, this El Rayo is quite nice. I just want to bring your attention to this tequila.
Is that still the same bottle from last week?
Yeah, it's still. Yeah, I've not really been like you, just on the profiles every day. I think you have. Do you have 2 a day or?
Well, I asked you this: have you had COVID?
Well, I have. I've had it. Yeah, I did.
Well,
yeah, you haven't.
no.
There you go.
Tell me someone who's had a Prairie Fire every day that's had COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
So you have all these pharmaceutical brands around the world, and they all try and get you to invest in this. They all say they've got the key, they've got the
vaccine,
the injection, or the or the tab, whatever it may be, and it's just going to completely nullify COVID. And you're saying, Gilly, you just need a shot of this every day, and you're sorted.
Mate, it's right here. It's right here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, wasn't it Trumpy that said, was it household bleach that he was suggesting?
yeah.
Trumpy.
I'd highly recommend not doing that. But
Gilly or Trump?
Trumpy spends all his time in court these days, doesn't he?
Oh, I know.
Every time I turn on the telly, he's arriving with his entourage into another court.
Court and golf courses.
There's another lead.
Trumpy.
The PM of Belarus famously came out and said vodka gets rid of all COVID as well when it first came out. So Belarus plugging it. I haven't unpacked my bags, so I'm on English strawberry gin liqueur from Tiptree, Essex, just down the road.
Right.
So that's what I'll be cheersing today.
And then I'm still on the Patron. So very good. All right.
Good work.
So Vaughany, is it right, Ollie, who wins the quiz, they get to do the toast? Is that what?
Exactly right. Whoever wins the quiz can toast whatever or whomever they wish. So Vaughany, take us away.
Yeah, it's just for fellowship and friendship, but to the Lionesses, the Euro champions. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh
man.
Beautiful.
God, I went overboard on the tabasco there.
Very good. All right, that was Club Prairie Fire. We'll be back next week with Vaughany. Is it next week we have Piers Morgan, or is it the week after that? Which one is he?
You put me off getting him on because you said you were going to bin him.
I've got Merv lined up whenever you want. So
is that right?
Yep, Merv's keen.
And
we'll. So Merv and Piers on at the same time.
Yeah, we should see whether if I can back up my statement, which you just quoted, Vaughany, that the Prairie Fire is all about fellowship. See if we could bring them some fellowship by sharing.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
There you go. Get us...
He's in Antigua at the minute. Is Piers? So we'll have to wait till he gets back.
Yeah, right. So it's either we get Piers and Merv on to get TikTok hits, or it's one of us fakes our own death to our children. So I'm leaning towards Piers and Merv.
Yeah,
that's the way I think.
I
think that's the way. Yeah. All right. Well, on that very positive note.
Later.
See you, boys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.